Hello and welcome back to Off the Post. In today's episode, I'll be discussing how Lucas Paquetá will impact Aston Villa's season. But before that, as always, please like, comment, subscribe. It's very much appreciated and it goes a long way in helping me build a small community on my channel, okay? We've recently just hit 216 subscribers and I just want to say a massive thank you for all you guys showing your support on my recent videos, all the likes and the comments on social media as well. It definitely does go unnoticed and yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you really. But let's just get straight into the episode. Aston Villa are closing in on a deal to sign Lucas Paquetá from West Ham for 47 million, okay? Now for me, overall, I think this is a great deal, to be honest here. He's a fantastic player, he's got so much potential, he's got so much ability, he's got so much drive in that attacking midfielder position. And for me, I can't quite get my head around why West Ham would let him go for so cheap. 47 million is an absolute bargain for the player, isn't he? Don't get me wrong, he's had a few controversial issues in the past and all this sort of good stuff. So he's sort of had a bit of time out from football and whatnot, but he's sort of, that's got sorted out, so that's all good now. But if you talk about it from ability-wise, football ability-wise, he's fantastic. He's one of West Ham's star players, isn't he? Him and Jared Bowen, really. Other than that, you don't really have that many attacking depth in the team other than those two. And you've got to think to yourself, if West Ham do let him go, they pretty much guaranteeing themselves to basically be relegated at this point, aren't they? Because Lucas Paquetá is going to be the one to score him the goals, get him the assists alongside Jared Bowen. So if they lose him, I really do feel like it's going to be a massive downgrade for West Ham's season. It's going to be a massive uphill battle to sort of survive in the Premier League if they lose Lucas Paquetá. So I'm sort of questioning myself, is this deal going to actually go through? Is Graham Potter actually going to accept it? However, I feel like the money being offered, they might just have to and just like move on from the plan, buy somebody else in before the transfer window ends. But we talk about it from an Aston Villa perspective, okay? It definitely does add good squad depth to the overall team, doesn't he? For me, I think Lucas Paquetá is a way better player than Jacob Ramsey from that personal perspective. Obviously, we've lost our boyhood academy graduate in Jacob Ramsey. He was a good servant to the squad. However, overall, I think he adds more quality in there. For me, when you think about his attacking flair, when you think about his dribbling capabilities, his goal and assist numbers, he's a very good player in there for West Ham over the recent seasons. Of course, he hasn't had his best time of late, but when he was under David Moyes a few seasons ago, he was looking unstoppable. Then again, saying that, I feel like maybe I might be wrong in saying it. I feel like Lucas Paquetá is the type of player to get the assist before the assist, if you like, the pre-assist. He passes to the player that gets the assist and whatnot. Maybe I'm reading wrong, I'm not too sure. Maybe let me know in the comments down below, West Ham fans. How do you feel about Lucas Paquetá as the player? Do you feel like he will be a good addition to Aston Villa? Where do you think he would fit into that team as well? Because when you think about his overall position, he's an attacking midfielder, isn't he, for West Ham side? And, we don't really play with a central cam, really. Emery likes to try out here and there. He also likes to play 4-4-2 as well. It's sort of a fluid 4-4-2, sort of 4-2-3-1 system, isn't it? Sometimes he switches it up. I think this season he has tried 4-2-3-1. And when you think about the three midfielders in midfield with, Onana, Boubacar Kamara and Tielemans in there, for me, I just don't like that midfield. I don't think, Tielemans as that advanced number 10 sort of works in that midfield three. I don't think Onana works as well in that midfield three. Also, it's nothing to do with Tielemans. I feel like Tielemans further forward isn't good. I feel like when he's partnering up with Boubacar Kamara, that's his perfect position in the team. That's why I think they're probably targeting a Lucas Paquetá to sort of play ahead of them in that number 10 position. Now, for me, I think that's exactly what they need because for whatever reason, Abdou Onana just isn't fitting in that team for whatever reason. He's played some loose passes in the recent two games so far this season. At the time of recording, game week 3 hasn't happened for Aston Villa, at least on a Sunday morning. But yeah, I feel like Onana, he's a good player. I do like Onana. He brings in the height. He brings in the somewhat defensive capabilities. He chips in with a few goals and assists here and there. But I think the overall package, the overall balance of the team, I think, Lucas Paquetá would probably add to that and make that Aston Villa side even better, if you like. I think he adds more balance to the side and whatnot. But it does raise questions whether or not, are Aston Villa going to sign Marco Asensio? Because obviously, we've been linked with him as well to try and get him on a permanent deal. And would you get both players into the team? I'm not too sure. Because there's also been links with him to Fenerbahce over recent weeks at the start of the transfer window as well. Will both of those deals go through for Aston Villa, especially when they've had loads of PSR regulation issues this season, you know what I mean? Bit of a tricky one, you know, spending 47 million on a Lucas Paquetá, I didn't think that was going to happen, to be honest here, because there's been like a lot of reports out there that's saying that Aston Villa don't really have any money to spend this season and whatnot. I'll be a little bit surprised if this deal does materialise in the coming days. We'll just have to wait and see, because you know, there hasn't been anything concrete in this deal so far. It's all just rumours, isn't it? When we think about Aston Villa's transfer deals, right, we never actually sign the players that we're rumoured to sign, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? We always sign the players that sort of come out of the blue in that sort of aspect. When we think about like Evan Gussard, okay, no, we weren't linked with Evan Gussard. We actually wasn't. I didn't see one link with him, and we just went there and signed him. When we signed Boubacar Kamara, I don't think we was linked with him, but we signed him. When we signed Onana, I don't think we was linked with him. We just signed him out of the blue. So it's happened on a few occasions. Don't get me wrong. We have been linked to some players in the press and whatnot, but I think, you know, it's probably more of a 50 to 75% chance that the players we do sign, we're actually not linked to. It does throw up the question as well, if we do sign Lucas Paquetá, what happens to Morgan Rogers? Because when you think about him being linked away from Aston Villa, he's been linked with a move to Chelsea this transfer window. He's been linked with a move to Tottenham as well. So does this Lucas Paquetá deal sort of replace a Morgan Rogers? I'm not too sure. I'm hoping not, because he's our star player in the team. He's our star man that's going to get us out of a hole. He's going to be, you know, an England great for a few years now, won't he? You know, he's our next £100 million plus player. I think Morgan Rogers is absolutely brilliant. You know, all those goals and assists he got last season, he was a driving force behind the Aston Villa side, wasn't he, Morgan Rogers? When you think about the position that Lucas Paquetá will play, he's going to be in that number 10 position. You'll have Morgan Rogers on the left, you'll have Ollie Watkins up front, and you'll have Evan Gussard on the right wing, okay? So for me, I feel like that's a very good team. That's a very good front four. So you're not really going to, you know, it's not really going to impact Morgan Rogers' sort of position in the squad, if you like. Don't get me wrong, he does like to play Morgan Rogers as that second striker, as that number 10 at times as well. But for me, I feel like Lucas Paquetá, when you think about his dribbling ability, when you think about his flair on the ball, when you think about the skills he can pull off, when you think about some of the goals that he can score. Do you remember the goal that he scored the other week when he just shot from like, what, 25, 30 yards out? Was it against Chelsea? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was Chelsea, wasn't it? Against Robert Sanchez. Absolutely bullet shot past Robert Sanchez, and he couldn't do anything about it. So if he could pull off one of those magical shots against, well, for Aston Villa, sorry, that would be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? For me, I really do like this player. I feel like he'd be a massive plus. It would be a massive bonus for Aston Villa going forward in the attacking areas. However, I do feel like, should we focus on the defensive area for me instead? Just because when you think about our defence at the moment, we've only got 3 star names at centre-back, if you like, in Tyrone Mings, Pau Torres and Ezri Konsa. Yes, they've got Bogard. Yes, he's probably had one season in the Premier League where he's been in and out of the side. Is he Premier League proven? Is he Premier League ready? For me, not just yet. Don't get me wrong, he probably needs one more season under his belt where he's playing, you know, a bit part in the team and whatnot, and he probably will be up to scratch, if you like. But for me, I think we need a 4th choice centre-back in there. Even if we get someone on loan, like a Axel Disasi last season, I feel like we need someone of that quality again. Hopefully somebody else, because he wasn't that great, was he, for Aston Villa? Last season at least anyways. He did all right, but he could, you know, we probably need someone a bit more consistent. And then also we need an upgrade on right back as well. For me, I've said it a few times now on my channel and previously, Matty Cash, he's a good player, but he's definitely, you know, very inconsistent. He doesn't really offer that much going forward either. Yes, he's better going forward than he is defensively, but when you think about his goals and assists, his numbers aren't like high, if you like. They're not fantastic by any stretch of the imagination. So for me, you could probably improve in that area. I don't know who you would get, to be honest, because right backs out there at the moment, there's not really, you know, many star names that come to the top of my head. Maybe that guy from Brentford, that Italian guy, is it Coyote or something like that, I'm pretty sure. The guy, I know he signed from Fiorentina, I'm pretty sure last season or the season before maybe, but he looks very good in the league at the moment, doesn't he? Maybe we can sign him this season or next season, I'm not too sure, but that'll be a ones to watch for the future at least anyways. However, I am happy with this signing. I just feel like, could we not spend that 47 million in that defensive area? Because, you know, we've been, if you look at the 2 games at the start of the season, we've looked very shaky at the back, haven't we? So for me, it's just that right side of the fence for me. I don't know what it is. We need a right centre back, fourth choice centre back, and the right back. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, let's end the video with some questions. Okay, how would you feel about Lucas Paquetá going to Aston Villa? Why are West Ham selling him so cheap? Do you feel like this deal will actually go through? Where do you see Lucas Paquetá fitting into Aston Villa? You know, in that sort of number 10 position on the right wing, maybe to sort of replace a Leon Bailey as well, because I'm pretty sure he can play right wing as well. And yeah, that's all my questions. So before that, as always, please like, comment, subscribe. It's very much appreciated, and it goes a long way in helping me build a small community on my channel. Okay, we've recently just hit 216 subscribers. I just want to say a massive thank you for all the likes and the comments on social media as well. It definitely doesn't go unnoticed, and I really do hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.